Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm going to be talking about subtitles on the Samsung Q8FN. This is probably lately one of my #1 questions that I have been getting. So let's say you see that the Q8FN is on sale, right? You know it's like anywhere from $1,100 to $1,200. You can do that, or you can get something up from this year, but you're really held up on the comments made by the mainstream reporter saying that there are some problems when, you know, dark text happens, or dark backgrounds happen and you have bright text on it. There's this weird brightness fluctuating and all that nonsense. So I'm going to show you guys that that's not true, and just do it with credits and try to show you guys some subtitles, though I'm here in Mortal Kombat 11 and that's pretty graphic, so I don't really know how that's going to work out. But at the very least, let's just run some credits so you guys can see, like, when you have credits running, right? Now, yeah, I have my bias lighting going right now, but that's not going to play any role into you seeing anything. Like, you're not going to have anything. I'm sitting right in front of the TV. I'll brighten up my ISO. What do you say? We brighten it up to ISO, let's say 2000. If there were a problem with the text fluctuating with the brightness, you would notice that you would see weird, banding and haloing of light around the text here, and it just doesn't happen because that's not an inherent trait of the television. Now, of course, the blacks will look gray because it's picking up more of the light source, and obviously the bias lighting is blown out entirely. So that's going to be one of the things that you can experience. But when I set the ISO back to something normal, which pretty much is where I usually keep my ISO for this, I mean, really, guys, you're not going to have any real problems. And honestly, on my end, like, you guys know I'm good for it. I'd tell you if there were problems. I mean, I can turn off bias lighting. Let's see, I gotta find my phone for a second. It's in the back here. Alright, so I'll turn off my bias lighting just so you guys see, like, even with it off, it's not gonna make a difference, dude. Like, you don't have brightness fluctuations with your text on the Q8FN. That's not a thing, right? Okay, so the light's off. Let's open up my ISO again. We're gonna open it back up, right? Back up to 2000, just to be dramatic, right? Now, obviously, the blacks got really, really gray, but notice how you do not see any kind of weird obstructions in the corner, no flash lighting, nothing. And you don't notice like a flashing or a shifting between brightness levels of the subtitle text, or I say subtitles, but this is just, you know, text on a black background. But again, you're not gonna have any problems with that kind of stuff. That was a lie told by the mainstream guys. For what reason, I don't actually know. I really honestly couldn't tell you. Now we're gonna go outside of that, and we're gonna try to go into, I really don't know how I'm gonna show you subtitles, because that opening scene in Mortal Kombat is really graphic, and Mortal Kombat in and of itself is pretty graphic, so I'm gonna try to find something that's maybe not so aggressive. Let's try this. This seems like it would show something, so.
Enough dancing with the dead. Raiden said this well of souls would be underground.
This way.
I'm going to try to raise my ISO here to be a little ridiculous. I'm going to try to blow it out a little bit so you can see that it's not fluctuating with the brightness levels like they claim it is. Now, of course, the whole image will be blown out, but when they're talking, notice how you'll look at the black bar at the bottom here. No major haloing or flashlighting when they speak. And you can see the whole characters are blown out, the scene is blown out, because the ISO is pretty high here. And for those that don't know what an ISO is, I'm just adjusting my camera's ISO, or light sensitivity, to the image sensor.
This is Goro's lair.
Thankfully, mine is Goro. Shang Tsung can be locked up here.
I mean, check that out. Nothing. Normally you'd notice a bunch of nonsense fluctuating through here. And I have my ISO higher than what is normal, so you're not even gonna see any of this. Like, this is me being ridiculous. I can go even higher if I wanted to be ultra ridiculous, but at the end of the day, blow out the whole image, right? The whole image at this point is unusable. Really high ISOs here. Totally unusable. But you see, there's no major fluctuation at all. Now let's put it back to normal and show you what it would actually look like, because these people, I don't know, for whatever reason, they like lying. Look at that. Nothing. Absolutely no issues whatsoever, guys. The subtitle thing, It's not going to bother you. You're not going to have that problem. Because local dimming dims so aggressively when it notices bright text that you never run into subtitle problems. This is what Samsung was focusing on in 2018. That was like their big thing. I mean, seriously, even on the lower end edgelit models, this is a feature that you do have where the text will dim down dramatically when they see like bright text on a black background to preserve as much of the black level as they can. So when Rtings or whoever you're finding this information from that says that the Q8FN has problems with text, look at that. Really? Do they really? I'll raise my brightness, dude. Look at that. Let's go up even higher. Right now I'm at ISO 500, dude. Like, come on. Really? Let's be real here, guys. Let's raise it even higher. Even higher. You know what I mean? I'm at 640 right now. You know what I mean?
Hang on, Jackie. I got it.
There's nothing. It's just clean, dude. You know what I mean? I'm like telling you, dude. Even with the image blown out, it's just clean.
Got that right. I'm just that tough.
Right, so with that, I want to grab him first. How do I grab him? I used to know how. Can I still grab him? That's like one of the things I want to do. Can I grab him? I don't think I can grab him. I'm just messing around at this point. Alright, but to get serious again. As you guys see, like, there are no real problems with the text, and, you know, you can kind of notice this when you look and you don't see anything. No abnormalities here on a black background, of course, as I have text here. And then when you go back to the home screen, it's kind of more of the same, dude. Like, there are no problems with this TV, and that's something that I wanted to kind of double down and show you guys, because it's important that you know that. Like, it's unfair for people to lie or to mislead you to whatever end, for whatever purpose, whether it's for monetary gain, to make a particular brand stand out, to help promote what's new, so they keep influx of endless televisions on their channel. Whatever their reasoning is, there are lies being told. Lots of lies being told, and I'm quite frankly sick of it, because it makes you think that the Q8FN has problems with this flashing text, and to the point where, like, literally, dude, like, I've had hundreds to thousands of people literally comment, hey, I would love to get the Q8, but, you know, I watched Rtings and they say that there's a problem with text fluctuations, they perform tests and all that. Dude, these mainstream guys are not what you think they are. You've been lied to, and I'm the only one with the balls to tell you that, and I'm sorry to be that guy, but you have to know that you're okay getting the Q8FN. Save yourself that extra money. There's nothing wrong with saving the money. So I'm going to lower my ISO back down to a normal ISO so you can see the text, and there you go. Absolutely nothing. It's black, dude. It's not gray, it's black, right? Now, of course, if I ramp up excess of, what do you say, let's go to unusable ISOs like 5,000. Of course, now you run into a lot of problems. And what people like to do is use high ISOs like this, right? And they like to pretend like, oh, look at all that bleeding, all that light bleed. Oh, it's terrible. It's not self-emissive. This is what it's really like. And that's just not true. So if you really want to buy a Q8FN and you're afraid, don't be afraid. Like, dude, this is ISO 500 right now on my camera. And again, I have nothing here to show you. You still see my hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not crushing anything out. This is my hand. I don't know how well that'll pick up on YouTube, but either way, you can see my hand here. Like, dude, like, they're playing games, and it's not cool, right? It's really fucked up. And that's the problem with today's market, and I'm trying to help. I really am. Because, you know, as you guys know, I don't have time to lie to you guys. For those who follow the channel every day, you guys know I'm freaking sick. I've got nerve damage. I'm not here to put on a show for anybody and try to be entertaining. I don't even have the energy to do that, to be very honest with you. Like, I'm just trying to put some good out in the world, you know what I'm saying? And it bothers me when I see people getting taken for a ride or manipulated, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm an everyday person just like you, and my reach can't go as far as the world. But what I can do is share some information with you, and I hope that, and doing that and opening up a level of honesty and transparency behind these displays and showing you the things that these mainstream reviewers hide, and the drawbacks they don't want to ever talk about, and just talk about it openly. I think this will help you in your buying decision, because let's be real, $1,000 is a lot of freaking money, man. And it's just not cool, dude. It's really not cool that they're bullshitting so hard about TVs. Now, for those that want to know my settings, like what am I using to pull this off, I'll show you. I'm going to lower my ISO here so you guys can see, like when I open up my menus and everything. Where's my remote here? So when I open up my menus, it's not just going to be an absolute total overexposed mess. So, and you can see here, even now, it's still a little overexposed to some degree because again, there are no problems with this display, but I'll give you guys my settings so you have that if you want it. So we're going to be in standard. I'm going to be in 16:9 with the fit to screen on. Expert settings. I have my backlight set to 30. So again, I'm not even doing anything special to like crush out the backlight and kind of play some tricks. You know what I mean? My brightness I have to -1. My contrast is at 45. My sharpness is set to 6, though you can go down to 4. I've got my color set to 37. You can also rock 36 on the color if you'd like a more muted color paletry. I have my tint set to neutral. I apply it to all picture sources so I don't have to keep doing it. I have my digital clean view set to auto, though you can rock it on low and you'd be just fine. Okay, Auto Motion Plus is set to custom, and then I have my blur reduction maxed out and my judder reduction set to 9. Now, if you don't like that, you can just set it to automatic or turn it off, whatever works best for you. Local dimming is set to low. Now, if you set it to low or standard, these two modes will help you preserve your black levels and give you a very uniform image. If you set it to high, you're gonna run into a lot more issues as far as brightness fluctuations and things like that. But that's because you're driving the absolute maximum amount of peak brightness that the display can have, and of course, when you're doing that, you'll run into some issues. But as you see, I'm at high, and it's nowhere near to the degree that they claim that it is, and that's the big thing here to keep in mind. Though that will change depending on the mode. I've noticed with HDR and in gaming, high is just going to completely ruin your black levels, and you're going to run into blooming. But to be very honest with you, coming from OLED, I've now kind of preferred the low, just simply because my eyes have gotten used to the lesser peak brightness, and I like the punch and the contrast that I get out of low. So I'm enjoying this a lot more in my really super dark room. But then I've been using the OLED as like my main TV for like 3 weeks now. So, you know, I'm kind of used to that. Contrast enhancer is on low to do this. HDR plus mode is off, film mode is off, warm 2 is my color temperature. Under the white balance, you know, I did a 2-point calibration, 20 points grayed out. I've got I'm going to go down the values. I'm going to go -2, -8, -13, -2, -9, and -6. Now this is for my particular panel that I've, again, calibrated and did all this for, but it won't necessarily work with you, so just be mindful that it does vary from panel to panel and things like that. Very important to know that. Now under gamma, it's 1886 or BT 1886, and then I've got my gamma set to -3. Now I do that because, again, I like the depth that you get when you do that, though you can rock it at -2 or -1 and still get a pretty decent picture. I know a lot of people say you don't want to touch gamma, but that's just not true, because gamma can give you a lot of depth and color back, and you can play around with the gamma and your contrast and your black level controls and your brightness to balance out a picture in a very creative way to create dimensionality. And think of gamma like almost like a 3D slider that'll show you a lot more depth if you have that on than if you turn it off. So food for thought there for anybody looking to get creative with their calibrations. Now, Rgb Only Mode Off, and I'm in the native color space. I know a lot of people like to say that you should always be in auto. Auto is just going to be the best, but really auto just makes your colors look pretty sour. If you look in the back, you can see there's blue here that's just going to get really sour in a second. Boom, and it gets really sour. Yeah, you see some extra details, I guess, because like there's less color, so all it has are the native details, but that's not how an image is supposed to look. You're supposed to have natural levels of vibrancy, and the native color from the source is what I like. And a lot of people try to claim that that's oversaturated, but oversaturation only happens when you don't know how to set your television up, or, you know, you haven't tried to calibrate it. Safely saying, like, going into, like, let's just show you guys, like, facial tones now. Characters, will they show me, like, the full 3D models? Because I don't actually know if they will. Be nice if they did, right? Will they? Am I getting a 3D model? Yes, I am. Cool. I didn't know that. So this is something I just figured out about this game. Okay, so if we look and we go into like our full three-dimensional model, I'll go into this variation of Scorpion, right? Or maybe this one. Let's do this variation of Scorpion, and let's go into photo mode so you guys can see. Like, I'll try to zoom in, and you guys can get an idea. Like, it's not an oversaturated image. You see what I mean? Like, colors are not bleeding together. It's not a big mess. It's not, and I'll try to get to the black area too. Let's try to get to a darker, there we go, a little darker, right? And you can see clearly his skin is very, very pronounced. You can see a lot here. His shoulder has a natural tonality to it. The yellow isn't bleeding and oversaturated. But again, the mainstream guys always sit here and say that if you're not in auto, then it's oversaturated. And that's just not true. Like, I can put it in auto and then I can toggle between the two in real time to show you guys, just so you see this, like, because this is one of those things that bug me, you know, so I want to really drive that fact home. Like, auto is not the only way to watch a television. And if you see here, notice the difference between the two. It's almost minute. You could barely even notice the difference. But you do notice that the natural vibrancy does kick back into the image when you sit here and you put it in native. And the native color is not oversaturated, as you clearly see. If it was oversaturated, when I go into auto and I select auto, it would be so much more washed out to a point where when I go back into native, native would just be blowing the image out. And as you see, while toggling between the two, I'm not bleeding anything out. There is no kinds of like just grand glowing of the color. And it's not radioactive either, like a lot of the guys like to claim. Now let's go into a different character. I know green is another character, or another color rather, that is being toted around as this really damaging color that looks really, really bad. So I want to go ahead and let's go to like the darker area. I'm gonna try to get her from this side. It's so sensitive, this thing, right? I'll show you the shade of green. Okay, so let's go to auto now. And you see, like, you see the color, you're losing color. Look at the purple in the face, the hair. This stuff becomes muted. And whatever YouTube ends up doing to it, I apologize if it looks odd, but I'm telling you right now, when you go from auto and then you switch into native, native is like a world of color that you need to get. You've paid for this. This is the wide color gamut that you're paying for. Auto is the regular Rec 709. It's the boring color that is not the DCI-P3. Native is the DCI-P3. It's giving you that extra color that you're looking for. And I'm telling you, it looks freaking incredible. Incredible. So, of course, use it however you'd like, do whatever you want, of course, but I'm just showing you guys like that it's not radioactive, it's not a destructive image. She doesn't have green bleeding over into other shades of green. You can clearly see separation at the top here. From her crown to this, it's not one flat color, it's not bleeding in. The purple isn't radioactive and radiating through the camera, and that's what I wanted to show you guys. So I hope by giving this information out that it helps you guys. And again, for those worried about low on the local dimming, maybe being too dim, just check this out. Like, it's plenty bright. Like, it's definitely plenty bright. You have tons of highlights. I don't even know if the camera can capture all this because it is a very, very bright image even still on low for the local dimming, so don't worry about that kind of stuff. That being said, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments section down below, and of course I'll be glad to help you guys out any way I can. As a little passing thing before I do end the video, for those who are wondering, should I go with the Q90R or the Q9FN? I've seen that question a lot lately too. The Q9FN is the better TV because it has better color, it has better overall black level control. It is overall a TV made to a higher level. The only real benefit and variance between the two is like the viewing angles on the Q90R are better, and if you require viewing angles above the picture quality, then the Q90R is the way to go. But otherwise, the Q9FN all day, every day. Now, as far as the Q8FN, the Q8FN right here is an absolute winner. It is fantastic. I really love this TV, guys. So just wanted to help you guys. I know it's been a question. That being said, thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty, and until the next video, I'll see you guys later.